think, hopefully, oh, yes, we're fine, 2 minutes to go. Tips for applying the guidelines. Commit your practice, those of you working in veterinary practice, commit them to meeting the cat's environmental needs. Provide immediate support in your practice. This is something that I think we really should be doing. I know I've spoken to our vets in the practice that I use a lot, and time and time again we'll see something like a cat brought in, tail bite abscess, gets patched up, antibiotics, goes home. 3 weeks later, comes in, tail bite abscess, gets patched up, antibiotics, goes home. Look at those pictures together and say, is there something in that cat's environment that's not right? Can we do an environmental need audit of that home? And I think as vets and as the allied profession, you can be doing that with your cat owners coming into your practice. Utilise things that we've talked about, such as resource maps in education. We all get those lovely puppy packs and kitten packs that have the socialisation checklists that we can pop on our fridge for our cat owners and say, he's met this, or he's met this, or he did this. Can we produce one of those for our environmental needs so that an owner can audit their home and go, oh, he hasn't got a safe place in the spare bedroom, and he does like going in there, need to add one of those. Educate within shelters. Lots of us are shelter vets or working within shelters. Educate there too, particularly animals going out into new homes. And apply guidelines with your own cats. If you are doing this kind of stuff with your own cats, you become the best ambassador to say that it works. If you're talking from personal experience, people are much, much more likely to believe you. And remember, we've talked about these are environmental needs for all of our pet cats. For every one of them, they have the same needs. But cats are individuals. They are all different, and within those needs, each one will have their own tweaks and nuances that will be slightly different. Certainly, my cat has his own individual quirks. Thank you very much. So I think somebody's coming with a microphone for questions. If anybody has a question, raise your hand. There's a lady at the back that has a microphone. She'll come and find you. There's a lady at the front here.
Can I have your email address, please?
Ah, yeah, of course you can. It's an easy question.
I've got a zillion questions, so I'm going to write them to you.
It's s.ellis@Lincoln.
Is there a dot between the S?
Nope, just S and Ellis at lincoln.ac.uk.
Thank you.
Hi, the talk was really good. I just had some questions about outside cats.
Mm-hmm.
We have a huge population of ferals in our environment that come in and terrorise home cats. So what are your suggestions besides the safe places for those cats?
The feral cats are coming into the home environment or just into the outdoor environment that the pet cats have access to?
Sometimes both.
Okay, then if they're coming into the home, I would definitely recommend a microchip scanning cat flap. That way only your cat can get into your home. The first ones that were available had quite a delay, and I was quite worried with them because it takes a while to scan before the door opens, and if you've got a cat that's on hot pursuit, the cat may not get into the home quick enough. But now the ones that are available now are much, much quicker. So I would definitely recommend that. I think if you have a problem with feral cats in the garden, then, and if there is ruckus, if there are fights between your own companion cats and the feral cats, I would look at the use of outdoor enclosures as well. But I think when you go down the line of looking at outdoor enclosures, you need to think very, very much about protection from cats sitting and just basically fence watching. You know, the outdoor enclosure has to be a safe place. It has to have visual discrimination from the outside, because I have very often seen owners putting in outdoor enclosures and then the feral cat's just sitting watching the cat in its pen, if you like. But I would also work with, wherever you are, I'd work with your local rescue to try and deal with that feral population as well. You are the local rescue. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, what about the use of valerian-based chemicals like PET, I think?
Yeah, I know certainly lots of toys now contain valeriana. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any scientific studies yet looking at the efficacy of valeriana, so I'm quite reluctant to give any opinion on it. The only thing I would say is if you utilise it, it absolutely stinks. So it depends how much you want to use it in your home.
Because we're using the pet remedy, which is the diffuser, which you can buy online. It's got 4 different herbs, and I hate the smell. But it seems to work really, really well.
Okay, yeah, I think until we get some sort of scientific evidence, as I'm a scientist myself, I need an evidence base for something to work. I would be really interested to know how it's working and whether it actually is, definitely. And you're saying that's one of 5, did you say?
I think 4.
4 products that are in it. So is it working in isolation or in combination with other things?
Well, valeriana is an old wise thing for cats. So, old wives' tale, and it does seem to work. The valeriana herb, it's been used for a long, long time by people as an old wives' tale.
Yeah, the valeriana has, yes. Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, there's no science behind its use yet, anyway.
Sarah.
Hi!
It was terrific. I have a question, though. In our short appointments for preventive care, how can we make environmental needs part of that discussion? How can we do that?
Within your short consultation time?
Yes.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think one of the things that needs to be done when a cat is enrolled into a practice at that stage, we take, certainly in the UK, and I'm not a vet, so I'm speaking from a cat owner point of view, your cat's age, date of birth, breed, name, and gender. That's the information that's taken, and that's it. And you have these beautiful vaccination cards that the drugs company produce that have loads of more space for information. I've never had a vet practice yet that's asked me any of those or filled those in. So I think definitely at the stage where animals are being registered, we should take the time to have that information put in so that that information is on record. Then you're not having to utilise your consultation time to get all that information. You're recapping on it, and you can use that precious time then to just say, I see here on your record you have 2 cats and 4 litter trays. Is this still the case? Is everything okay? Rather than having to take that history within your consultation. It would be so easy to do that at registration time, yet we don't. We're only interested in the age and the gender. That's pretty much it.
Brilliant job, Sarah. Just a question, and I realize how are you recommending or not recommending incorporating catnip or honeysuckle in homes, etc.?
I mean, I don't personally recommend any of the botanicals because I haven't looked at any of them apart from catnip. I looked at catnip as part of my PhD, so I feel much more comfortable with that. The other ones I don't give any recommendations on because, again, I don't have the evidence base, and I'm very, very much based on evidence base, so until it's there, I won't utilise it. Catnip's an interesting one. Catnip I would very much utilise carefully in a multi-cat household because the response that it creates, once it's started, it can't stop. The cat goes through that. You cannot intervene it or stop it, and for some cats it can be really quite strong or quite severe or intense. And I've seen in multi-cat households where one cat has had access to catnip, it's an attractant, the other cats will be drawn to it, the cats are very, very aroused at that time, and fights and tension can escalate. And because the cat also appears, its behavioural repertoire is very, very different during a catnip response. It's a very, very fixed response. So in multi-cat households, I always suggest that if you're going to use catnip, do it in isolation for the cats. Don't bring them together and use it in that sense. But I do use it. I mean, not every cat, as you know, has a catnip response, but I do certainly use it.
Yeah, because I also with cat play in multi-cat households, we have to really respect the body space, the physical, surround that they need. That's, varies from cat to cat, and also depending on how well they get along. But in general, appears, at least on my observation with my clouder, it certainly seems to be, easily a meter in circumference.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think it's really hard for a single owner with multiple cats because we'll say play with them in isolation, play with them individually. But if you do that, you're placing one cat out of the room while you play with another. You're in effect punishing one cat, creating a frustration response if he can hear or see the toy. So you have to be really, really careful how you do that. And I do feel for multi-cat owners, single owner, because it's not always easy. And I would set up one with a feeding device in another part of the house and give that something positive first, rather than you out and playing with you, your turn in 10 minutes, because you are in effect punishing that cat.